Hi everybody, this is Drake Oakey, Athletic Director from Memphis Community Schools with another Sting Report to bring everybody up to speed of what's going on here at Memphis in our winter sports season. Our winter sports season is coming near the end. It's been a long season, started way back in November, and here we are at the end of March. Usually winter sports season for the most part is over with. We've had some fantastic feats that we've accomplished. We have some great guests coming up. We have our head coach of our junior high program, Miss Welch, and her 4 8th graders are going to come and speak about some of the great accolades that they've accomplished. And we also got our head football coach that's going to come in and start talking a little bit about where the program is today, where he foresees it going, and what his expectations are from our community and from our kids and our parents here in the next few months to get ready for another great season next year. I just wanted to be able to share those things with you today, and also where we're at with the winter sports. Our wrestling program, once again, are doing a fantastic job. They were very, very unfortunately hit hard by the COVID bug and missed some matches that they had to quarantine for, unfortunately. But guess what? When they came back, it's like they never missed a beat. The buzz around town is once again, the Memphis Yellow Jackets are looking to get another district championship. We're very fortunate in Coach Mark Pringle's last year. Yes, that's right. Coach Pringle, after 30 years, is most likely going to step down and retire. We're going to be able to hold the districts here on March 17th. So we're real excited for not only Coach Pringle, but for the whole Memphis Yellow Jacket program, that they get to hopefully hoist that another district championship like they have so many years before. We also have our bowling teams. My God, they've done a great job. They were able to start bowling, but a lot of bowling alleys weren't open. So it was kind of like they had a season, but the season wasn't starting quite the way they had hoped. And they have not left anyone disappointed. Our boys, which was in a rebuilding year, have competed every single week. They've actually done a fantastic job, and the future is so bright for our boys program, because not only do they have some younger guys bowling, they've got some guys with experience. And so hopefully next year, they'll continue to move forward like they are this year, have a great showing up at the state tournament, and then be prepared for next year. Our girls bowling team, they've been something to talk about. They have been very exciting. They've won a lot of their matches. They've done a fantastic job, and I can tell you that we're expecting great things from them in the state tournament that's coming up in a couple weeks, and they expect it from themselves as well. So the boys and girls bowling teams, again, have left everybody excited because they continue to go out there with less fanfare than most teams, because you're not allowed too many fans in the bowling alleys at this time. And they go out there and bowl and represent Memphis very proudly. And a big thank you has to go out to our two coaches, Miss Michelle Lentz and Esmeralda Peters, have kept these kids together, boys and girls alike, through this tough time, and have very well represented Memphis and Memphis schools. Our girls basketball program, if you blinked, you would have missed. They are doing a fantastic job. They are competitive again. They've won games. They brought a lot of excitement into the stadium at the Hive. And my gosh, the great thing about them is most of them are young. We do have one senior that in her 4 years here has led by example on the court and off the court. We're so sad to see her go, but yet we're excited for her that she's able to enjoy some of these victories and some of the accomplishments of the whole girls program. And we're actually going to meet with her in a later date, because she's represented the school and herself, her family, and the programs that she plays for as admirably as she is valedictorian this year for our Memphis schools. So we will be meeting with her at a later date. But our girls basketball program, by the leadership of Mr. Mark Carlson, has done a great job, and they're going to finish the season with more wins than they've had in quite a few years. So we're very proud of them. Our boys basketball program really came out gangbusters. They were stinging people all along the way, getting quite a few victories at the beginning. COVID kind of struck them a little bit, and we've kind of had some tough times the last few games, but they were very excited because, again, like wrestling, the boys' districts are going to be held here at Memphis. So we're very excited about that, and we're hoping that the boys can continue some of their winning ways and take that into districts and try to host a district championship for the first time since 1992. Our JV program, our numbers are great. they've shown a lot of poise, they've shown a lot of promise and opportunity for us. That Memphis basketball program is going to continue to be successful for years to come. We were very, very fortunate to be able to have our junior high seasons for basketball and wrestling. Now, wrestling was unfortunately not able to have as many meets as they normally do at the junior high level, but the athletic directors throughout the league and the state got together. We were able to create a small schedule for them, so those kids were able to go out and represent their school and wrestle the last few weeks. Our junior high boys and our junior high girl programs, just like that, their seasons should have been over 3-4 months ago for girls and a month ago for boys basketball, but they're now playing now. We are able to schedule, they're playing 2 games a weekend, and they have done a great job. The coaches have kept them together. We actually have more girls playing now than we did back in November, which is a great credit to the girls that were playing, because some of the other girls wanted to be part of it. And our boys 7th and 8th grade team are doing a great job. The numbers have been fantastic. They're competing every weekend, and the future is extremely bright. We also had some great success. We were very fortunate that our school district was able to go out, purchase a company called Pixelot, which put a camera in our high school gym, the Hive, and it also put one out at the football field for our football and for our soccer events to be held, that you'll be able to watch them. And there were so many schools that went to get this because we weren't allowed to give tickets out, for the events. And so basically we only had 1 or 2 parents per athlete able to attend, and our fans were able to sit at home and pay $10.95 on the NFHS website, and they're watching our games live while they're being streamed. And the greatest thing about it is I have grandparents from Florida calling me, what time's the game tonight? Or when's Memphis going to be on? And it gives all that information. But, extreme appreciation to the administration and the school board allowing us to move forward and purchase this so that all our Memphis fans can watch the games. And the great thing about it, you're able to catch the away games as well, as long as the facility that we're playing at and the school we're playing at, also has Pixelot. So what a great thing that's really, been able to help our programs and our fan base. And as I said, the unfortunate thing is with winter sports coming nearly to an end, it's also the most exciting time with all the districts. And between bowling state tournament at Genesee, our boys wrestling here that's going to take place next week, and then our boys basketball district in 2 weeks, and then our girls basketball this year is going to be at Brown City. There's a lot of excitement to be able to follow our girls and our boys throughout the winter sports. The other part of it is with spring sports so close, spring sports are starting. So there is an opportunity where some of the winter sport programs and spring sports could intertwine in playing games at the same time. Now we do have that little buffer there with spring break, but our baseball program, varsity and JV, we have a softball, varsity and JV program, and they're practicing 2, 3, 4 nights a week, and on the weekends preparing. They're doing their four-person workouts. You have not been able to get in the weight room. We've unfortunately had to close that during the COVID time. But once that's open, we look forward to all them getting in there. And then our girls soccer and, of course, our track, high school and junior high are right around the corner. So spring sports is coming. You can tell by the weather. They're all excited, but we haven't quite finished the winter sports. We still have a couple weeks. So it's a busy time here at Memphis. It's an exciting time. And when you meet our future our guests that we're about to have, you'll see why some of the reason the excitement is so great here at Memphis. So glad to have all you a part of it. And we look forward to the next segment, in which we'll be meeting with, again, Leah Welch, our head junior high cheerleading coach, and her 4 8th graders. We'll see you in a minute.
There's a buzz around Memphis.
The success in the classroom
and our rich music and choir program are leading the way.
By building a sound foundation,
the future looks brighter than ever.
Our softball program,
high jump solid stunts,
our girls basketball program,
shooting for the stars,
our Memphis Athletic Booster program,
a soccer league repeat,
knocking down the competition,
cross country state bound again,
swinging for the fences,
wrestling district champs
4 years in a row,
small town Friday night lights,
Memphis boys basketball protecting the high.
Memphis Bass Fishing Team. Fish on.
Memphis Equestrian, enjoy the ride.
We have a team for you. Come be a part of it.
Well, welcome back to the Hive. Again, this is Drake Oakey, the Athletic Director at Memphis Community Schools. And as I promised, we have some fantastic guests here today, some of our Memphis Pride cheerleaders. Our cheerleading from our junior high program has done a fantastic job this year. They were actually very fortunate to be able to compete in 2 competitions this year. The way with the shutdown and everything like that, there really wasn't a lot of competitions out there, so they were having to really look for a couple, and they found 2. And fortunately, they were at bigger schools, but unfortunately, sometimes that can be a little scary for a school our size to go compete against the Class Bs and the Class A schools. But guess what? It didn't scare our Memphis cheerleaders. Our junior high cheerleaders not only went and competed, they came in first not once but twice. And I just wanted to be able to come here today and talk to our cheerleaders and our coach and celebrate your fantastic weekends and your great season so far. I know it hasn't been what all of us have wished, right? Because you can't cheer at the boys' games and you want to do more competitions. But my gosh, the 2 cheerleading competitions you had, you came in first place. So we're very proud. Coach Lee, I'd like to say, what a great job you've done, and we're proud of, the job you're doing.
Thank you.
And we're extremely excited. We're the cheerleading program that's been very successful in the high school, where it's obviously going to continue to grow. Puts a lot of pressure on you girls to keep it going. But, you're starting out with, 2 first place in your 8th grade year when your practice season has really been kind of chopped up, hasn't it, with all the stop and goes with the COVID situation. But Coach Lee, I wanted to, welcome you here today and give you an opportunity to not only talk about your program, but also talk about your girls. So, Coach, just a couple of things about you. Coach, how many years have you now been at Memphis?
This is my 2nd year.
Oh, okay.
Here.
Yeah.
I coached tackle before this. But I came in last year for competitive season. Then I was excited for this year to come. Like you said, unfortunately, because of COVID, things got a little messed up. I decided to hold practices virtually while we couldn't practice in person. Wasn't sure if they were really going to do any good. Wasn't sure. I just figured get a routine going for these girls, get them, their conditioning going and whatnot. And obviously it paid off because they came in, they were ready to work, and we did those 2 competitions. The first competition was D4 schools. The second competition...
D4 schools, what does that mean, Coach?
Division 4.
Okay.
And then our second competition, we were against all Division 1 schools, and we took...
The Class A schools.
Yep.
Yep, okay.
Yep. So they did pretty good. I'm very proud of them. Next year they'll be on to varsity. They're all moving on to varsity. They plan on cheering next year, and Coach Clark definitely has some awesome
High aspirations, yeah. Well, if you could share some of the girls with us here.
So I have some of my 8th graders. I have Cameron Darengowski, captain, Haley Coulter, Allison Clark, captain, and Alexis McCready, captain. And they're all here today. All of my girls moving up.
There you go. Captain, that's a heck of a task, isn't it? Were you voted on, or did you say I'm the captain, or did they vote you as captain?
Coach Leah just really looked at the girls who tried very hard and motivated the team, and she announced to the whole team who was captain, so she had decided.
Well, good. Well, congratulations. That's a great honor.
Thank you.
But I know just a little bit about your program, and I know the 4 of you are pretty much the leaders of the program. But being a named captain is a great honor, and something that you should be very proud of. And how many years have you been cheerleading here now?
I don't know, maybe since kindergarten.
Wow!
So,
Through the TAFL program, the football program, and all that. That's fantastic. So this is your first year in competition, or is your?
This is my 3rd year competing.
Wow! Is this your first time winning first place?
I don't think so. I think we won first place once in 6th grade, but other than that, yes.
Well, there you go. And who do you have next to you?
This is Haley Coulter.
Hi, Haley. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
How exciting was it to get into the D1 schools, the bigger schools, and walk in? I think it was at Lakeshore, wasn't it? What did it feel like walking into that gymnasium and seeing some of those teams?
It was definitely like surprising to see how big the teams were, and like they were bigger teams than us, but we still did really good.
Well, you did better than good. You won.
Yeah.
So you can't do much better, right? I mean, so, and then who's the teammate you have next to you?
Allison Clark.
So how does that feel knowing about your mom being the head coach of the varsity? Does that inspire you to want to be doing great things, or do you wish you could stay in junior high so she doesn't have to coach you?
No, I'm kind of excited to have her as coach, but yeah, I'm going to miss Leah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you do all practice in the same area, so that's kind of a good thing. But, you know, you've been around a lot, you know, with your mom being the head coach. What made this team so different than, say, years past for them to go in and compete the way they did?
All of the girls, like, wanting to win and putting the effort into winning. So, I don't know, yeah.
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 Hey, do us a favor. A lot of people, they see cheerleading and they say, well, cheerleaders are supposed to cheer people on. So I don't know, Coach, if you want to answer this question, but like she said, you know, just now said, you know, well, we wanted to win. How does a cheerleading team who has going against bigger teams, how do they win?
They have to have so much heart, so much dedication, the effort, the countless hours that they put in at home, at school. They have to, I mean, they do have to lead. They have to lead by example. They represent Memphis anywhere we go. But they go to these schools, they go out on the mat, and then they give it all they got.
How are they, like, how do you, like in basketball, you score 40 and they score 30, you win. How does a cheerleading group win?
You get judged, you have a panel of judges that you go in front of. They score you on multiple different things, your jumps, your tumbling, your stunts. You can get penalties, but we were penalty free this year.
What does that mean?
If you can get penalized for the smallest things. If you fumble when you land a jump, you penalized. If you don't land a skill, you get penalized. If your bow falls out, you get penalized. So there's quite a few things that you can get penalized for, and it's definitely a big feat to come out without any penalties at all. And we had awesome remarks from the judges saying that they did an awesome job. There was nothing negative to say. And we went out our first competition, and you get judged from a 1 to a 10, 10 being the best on all these different skills. And we had a lot of 7s, and I told the girls, I said, our goal, we want to get 10s, obviously, but our goal is to get 8s. We really need to get 8s. And they went out the second competition, and 8s, 9s, all across the board.
Wow, congratulations. Well, I heard you're the loudest one, so I'm going to ask you. But that's a compliment, right, especially in cheerleading. So, you know, listening to Coach Leah, you know, with the mask, having to wear the mask, that had to be difficult, right? Because I know one of the things they look at is the expressions on the girls' faces. Are they smiling? Are they not smiling? You know, stuff like that. How did you help your team overcome something like that? And how vocal did you have to be wearing the mask so that they could hear you?
Well, it makes us put like more effort into us. It makes us yell louder. It gets very irritating, but it makes us talk louder and realize that we have to like overcome that. But it helps our facials a lot. I mean, we'll have to like it really express them more. But I'd say it like helped us a little bit to like overcome that. But I mean, we did it. So
you did it. Well, that's fantastic. Do you plan on going on moving forward next year at varsity and cheerleading through next 4 years? Well, that's fantastic. You know, if you're a 5th grade girl or a 6th grade girl or even, you know, 7th or 8th grade girl and you're like, man, I kind of like to do that, or I'm a little afraid, or maybe I'm not athletic enough, you know, what would some of you have to say to those girls to help them want to come out and be a cheerleader?
I would say that just to come out, because our team is very, like, if you don't know how to do something, we will help you until you get it and you feel that you accomplished it. And there's like never any quitting. Like once you set your mind to you can do it, you can definitely do it. And by the end of the season, you'll have the skills you've ever wanted.
I feel like also once you join the team, you become like family.
You feel more comfortable with one another.
They're gonna like, we'll take you in as family.
We won't yell at you right away if you do something wrong.
Right away?
We'll fix it.
You got a few minutes, you get your shoes on, now you get yelled at.
We do
right?
give constructive criticism, so they will get criticized, but it's for the better. It definitely helps the girls, and they definitely, from the beginning, from summer, when we started before football season until now, even my 8th graders that had a lot of skills coming in, they have come so far from the summer. And then my 6th graders that just joined this year, I have seen tremendous improvements from them, that they're just doing amazing.
Well, that's fantastic. I know gymnastics is a big part of competitive cheer now, and you know, we've had some people come and help with the gymnastics. Do you think that's helped with, you know, you girls being accomplished the great feats? The gymnastics part is important then, huh?
I think it's helped us a
Helps
lot.
us get our tumbling down, make sure everything's like perfect.
Like even if you have a skill, the gymnastics teachers and tumbling teachers, they help us make sure that the skill is very like clean and crisp, and that even if you take a break from that skill, you'll be able to come back and do it just as well.
That's great. Well, girls, we're really proud of you, and I think you've seen the community's really excited about you. You know, you get a lot of positive people out there supporting you ladies. Now, you know, you haven't had a lot of home games, actually no home games up to, we've seen you at some JV boys basketball games, and you create a lot of excitement being there for them. Do you enjoy doing that? Now, the boys enjoy having you there, that's for sure. You know, they really do have your, you know, their friends, their, you know, girlfriends and, you know, stuff like that from the, you know, I don't mean that, I just mean girlfriends, you know, they're in the same class. I know the junior high is playing this weekend. Are they going to be there on the sideline this weekend?
We'll be here Saturday.
Oh,
back-to-back
fantastic.
games.
So you get an opportunity to cheer for them at home. Well, I know that the high school JV loves having you there and the fans, so hopefully we can see we got a few more home games for that. But we appreciate that, because I mean, you know, that's what to me that's what separates cheerleading really from a lot of other sports. You know, whether it's football, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you go play your sport. You have to go compete your sport, and then you're still putting in extra time to help support the program. So I think it's fantastic, and I appreciate, you know, I've always appreciated the cheerleaders here. You've all done a good job. You know, Coach, I mean, you know, you've got a few more games left to do and cheer and stuff like that, and these girls will be moving on to high school, and I know you'll see them every day, but what's your feelings on losing a great 8th grade group like this?
So my heart's with my whole team, but I've watched these girls, not that I've known them extremely close, but my oldest son is in 8th grade. So I've watched them grow up since kindergarten, so this is definitely going to be the hardest to watch move on. I'm going to cry.
You got the mask on, we won't know.
But it's going to be so hard watching them move on, because I feel super close with these girls. I've known, you know, Alexis has watched my kids for me. They've all, you know, watched my kids here and there, and they're just like my family. They're like having multiple daughters. I just feel like I just have this great big family of 16 girls.
Well, I think it's fantastic what you ladies have done, and we're so excited to have you come up to the high school ranks next year. Thank you for the great season, and I hope next year for football, and then obviously for your competitive cheer season, that we don't have to wear these. But even the fact that you had, to me, that's even more impressive than anything, is you've overcome this and you've done it positively. And you know, eligibility-wise, I want to say that that's one of the things I'm really proud about with all our programs. But the junior high cheerleading and the varsity cheerleading have done such a great job. We don't have cheerleading girls show up on eligibility list, and it says that you're doing the work in the classroom as well as, you know, on the mat or on the court. So, or obviously in the football field. So, you know, a lot of Memphis pride here for you girls. Thank you so much for what you've done, and we look forward to the next 4 years. And Coach, great job, and we're proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back for the next segment. We'll see you in a few minutes.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
What a great segment about those cheerleaders, wasn't it, Memphis people? You know, they have done a great job, and their excitement has really been something that's really brought all of Memphis, you know, to a different level. Watching not just the junior high girls, but the high school girls' excitement at our cheerleading competitions, and of course at our events. And one of the events that our cheerleaders really get excited to do and cheer for is, which will happen next fall, is our football season. Now, I know we're not finished with winter sports yet. We have spring sports, but there's a lot of great things that are going on with our fall sports, and I want to start kind of looking at different segments of them so that people can see that not only is, you know, are we busy during the actual seasons, fall, winter, and spring, but all the preparation it takes from our head coaches to make sure the programs are running smoothly and recruiting kids and developing them for next year. And we're very, very lucky to have our football coach here, Coach Stump. Welcome.
Thank you.
Todd, this has been your second year at Memphis.
It'll be coming into my second year.
First year was kind of...
It was interesting.
An interesting year. In case you don't know, we actually hired Todd to come in. We were very fortunate to bring him in as an assistant coach, and we ended up making some changes, and we're very fortunate to be able to name Todd our head football coach. And, you know, with the COVID and the summer workouts and then the stoppage, it was just really a frustrating thing, but not very many professionals, people, I think, could have carried our program through the way you did. And, you know, maybe you can share with us some of the things that you were faced as a head coach and bringing a program through 2 stoppages.
I mean, it was, you know, a lot of uncertainty with the kids. They really didn't know what to expect. Obviously, you know, they had the mask mandate, and we were able to get face shields that helped with that. The coaching turnover, unfortunately, the previous coach had some health concerns. He had to resign late in the summer, which didn't give us a lot of time to basically get a staff together and meet with the kids and do some of the summer workout stuff that you usually do in the summer. So there was a ton of challenges, and then you get things moving in the right direction, and then we get a pause, which we thought was a stop, and so you tell kids to go play other fall sports because you want them to be involved and represent Memphis, and then they bring back, and so now they're kind of in they're kind of between a rock and a hard place because they want to be involved in the sports they committed to, but they also want to play football. We had to basically adjust some of our philosophies a little bit there to make sure we didn't put kids in a hard situation where they had to choose. And we tried to do the best of that. I mean, sometimes there was some difficult situations. You know, kids have got to make decisions, but we did our best to try to not put kids, you know, pin 2 programs against each other where both programs could still get the players they were anticipating getting. So.
Well, that's a great point. I know we did have some of the kids went, and it was kind of an odd situation. They couldn't play football or even practice football, but they were able to go soccer. And we had some kids that, you know, wanted to wear that M on their chest, and they never played soccer before, and yet they went out for the soccer team, and they really contributed to the soccer team. Mm-hmm. They did a great job, and taking our soccer team made it to the district final, and those 2-3 kids were big parts of that. But now football starts. And, you know, so we were very fortunate that we had you and Coach Andrew Rohde, the head coach of the soccer, worked well together, I thought, in keeping the kids playing both sports, not coming back just to football, which would have probably really hurt soccer. But you guys were able to work together. Tell me, how difficult is that, though, as a coach, knowing that some of your better players aren't there every day, but yet why were you so willing to allow them to play both sports?
What it really came down for me is, one, you want to instill in the kids, if you commit to something, you need to follow through with it. And we encourage the kids to commit to that. They made a commitment to other people. They needed to follow through with that commitment to their soccer teammates, the soccer coach, to everybody else. And letting them go back on that commitment is not something we want to build on. You know, if you commit to something, you do it. And so that was interesting. You know, that was at times challenging for us, but I think in the long run, you demonstrate that these are the principles we believe in, and we're going to stand by those. And if right now it makes our job a little bit harder, we're still going to stand by those principles because that's our principles. We're not going to abandon what we believe simply because it got difficult. And I think that was a big thing for the kids, just to see, like, no, we told you to do this. We're not going to abandon you and put you between a hard place. We've got your back. You know, we're going to try to do what's fair for everybody, but you know, we want you to continue with that commitment that you made. And per our advisement, that'd be really, kind of a raw deal on the kids. If a coach tells you to go join soccer and then say, nope, you can't join soccer, we're going to come back to football. That would be a pretty raw deal for everybody involved. Not a good way to build trust in kids or other staff members or other kids in other programs for that matter. One of the things that I really wanted to build was, football is part of the athletic program. We're not separated. We're not our own little unit. We're part of the bigger thing. And if we're alienate ourselves right away to the soccer kids, well, that's a pretty good way to put yourself over on an island real quick.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Coach, you had, when we came back, we're trying to incorporate the new weight room that we have, a new coaching system, a new coaching staff, and new kids, and you're trying to all do this all in a 5-day period to get ready for your first game when you usually have months to prepare, and at least weeks. And now you've got 5 days. And, we were able to finish the season with four wins, which was fantastic. The crowd was excited and the community was excited. So, because of the stoppage and this and that, now you're faced with, now you got to kind of plan for the future, right, Coach?
Correct.
So I wanted you to see if you could share some of the things which, your plans are for the community as well as for the kids to prepare them for next year.
So, long term, and we don't know what this summer is going to look like yet with COVID restrictions and all those guidelines yet. Long term, one of the things that I'd like to do is take a mini trip, maybe a 2-day trip in the summer and go face some teams from different parts of the state. One of the things that's unique about Memphis is most of the teams our size are in our league. So we have to travel a pretty good ways to get, to basically get a team our size we don't play in the regular season. So I'd like to maybe take a mini 2-day trip. At my previous school, we would go up to Boyne and face Portland and Kingsley and a few other teams around. We'd stay at Boyne and then we'd go to East Jordan for a 7-on-7 and we have a lineman challenge up there and almost like a team bonding thing. I've got friends that I was teammates with in college all over the state, so we could go as far down to Coloma, up to Whitehall. I've got some friends on the east side too, so we can go. There's people I have connections with. Rochester's head coach was a college teammate of mine, so we've got connections all over the place. But just get kids some exposure to different things out there. I'd like to, I don't know if we can do it this summer, but maybe go to an Elma or an Albion or a Siena Heights where they have some 7-on-7, get some kids some exposure to some college campuses, and those are opportunities to play there. Big thing that we want to try to get this going this summer is summer workouts, but also our summer camp. One of the things we try to do is not have necessarily a week of 5-day camps, but spread those camp days throughout the summer. MHSA changed the rules last year. There used to be 10 camp days and 7-on-7 days. Now they say 15 competition days. Those are either camp or 7-on-7s, whatever. You break them up however you want. So we're going to kind of look at how many 7-on-7 days do we want to do that, how many camp days we want to do, and then kind of set those up where kids can come up, do a weightlifting workout, do a speed workout, and then go do football stuff, and then have supplemental days where it's just speed or just workouts on different days so we don't go over on the number of camp days. Those times and days are going to depend. I talked about, with soccer, one of the things we're going to say is I'm sure we have kids that play summer baseball. So what might respect for the coaches would be Monday, Thursday, but for the kids it might be Tuesday, Thursday. So we're going to kind of look at the kids and say, when can we get the most kids there the easiest? So again, kids don't have to choose. Because last thing we want is saying, well, you can't play summer baseball, you got to come to football. Or even put the pressure on the kids where they have to choose. You try to avoid that so kids don't have to choose. And you're going to run into some conflicts now and then. Kids are going to take vacations. That's why we try to spread it out through the summer. So you're missing 2 days, you're not missing 5. Which, again, makes a little bit more work for the coaches at times, but it allows kids to basically make up the difference quicker. And it's an easier time for the kids to get caught back up.
Well, Coach, that's interesting, and I think people actually like that. Like you said, they can go on vacation, and, I've already gotten emails or phone calls, when's football? Well, August 10th, easy to say, but there's so much that goes through. A couple of things if you could elaborate on. So is this just for high school you're talking about, or can junior high kids get involved?
We will probably orchestrate some youth camps. We just started TAFL Up. TAFL is reorganizing completely, so the old TAFL is gone. There's a lot of new stuff. I met with the TAFL board along with Adam Berger and a few other guys and just kind of talked about what does the new TAFL look like, and they were really intrigued by us. They were actually glad we were there. Unlike before where you have to have all 3 levels, they're saying if you only have one team, let's play with one team and we'll help you build throughout the years. That's a great situation for us. We want to have some youth camps going. We're actually I was texting coaches earlier today, maybe doing 2 youth mini camps, so do like a 3-day session in June and do a 3-day session end of July, early August, where kids right before they go into the regular tackle practice get a little exposure. They want to sign up. At that point in time, we could do some things that way. We're going to do some middle school camps again. Try to get the high school kids to help run it. So obviously we want to do a little high school stuff before we get the middle schoolers in there, but have them do basically similar to the high school, but have them be just themselves so we can slow things down and really fine tune and get to the nuts and bolts of what we're doing. Obviously putting an incoming 7th grader with an incoming senior, 7th grader may not know anything about football and the senior may be his 6th year playing football. That's probably not a good situation for either one of those kids. So if we could separate them a little bit, again, a little more work for the coaches, but it gets the kids a little more, I guess, feedback and skill work that's at their level. So they're not being left behind, but they're not also being unchallenged. So you try to basically split them up a little bit to give the kids the proper technique, proper time to work on what they need to work on.
Well, I mean, Coach, those are great ideas and great plans. I have a question. I'm a kid. I'm I don't know, junior or a freshman or senior. It doesn't really matter. I'm thinking, man, I'd like to play football, but I don't really know how to play, or I've never played before. What do you say to that kid to get him to say, listen, this is how we're going to start you off. Obviously it starts with them walking in the door. Is there anything you could say to maybe help them walk through that door?
One of the things is one of the nice part is some of the technique you may be a little behind on, but if you work at it, you'll catch up quick. We'll give you opportunities to work at it. We'll coach you up like anybody else. But this is year 2. It's not like these kids have been in the system for 4 years and know everything that's going on. So you're not really, as far as knowing the plays or knowing this, way behind. And the other thing is, trust the coaching staff to put you in a position to be successful. If you can't learn 3 positions in offense, 2 positions in defense, well, let's not put you in there. Let's put you in one position. You concentrate on that right now, and we'll build on it from there. So basically say, hey, come out, work hard, do what we asked of you, and you'll get better, and trust us that we're not going to overload you. And if you have concerns, like you're way confused, come talk to us. And we'll gladly have that conversation. We have, with the coaches, guys, all the coaches' policy, we didn't really talk about it. We just kind of all have it is, come talk to us. If you have a concern, if you have a question, if you don't know what's going on, come talk to us and we'll have that conversation. We may not be able to have it in practice, but we'll have that conversation with you after practice and get things cleared up. And it's fun. Bottom line, it's fun. It's fun to go out there and compete with kids. It's fun to go out there with, this is not just football. That's just any sport. But especially fun with football. Something about Friday night lights in the grass and just going to battle with 11 guys on the field that all have one purpose. That's fun to me, and I think it builds a lot of character in kids where I have to do my job even if I might not get the stat, I might not get the glory, because my teammate can then get his job done. And that idea of I'm part of a bigger system than just myself, I think it's a beautiful thing. And a lot of it is the kids are not sure they want to play. We have to demonstrate to them that we're going to be here, that we're going to be reliable, we're going to be there in the summer, we're going to do what we say we do. And that happens right now, that happens in the weight room when we get the weight room open. Obviously COVID has created some issues with that, but building trust in kids and keeping your word. And you build trust in kids, kids will show up. And you do that through how you handle one kid. You might pick up 3 kids in the other way because you handled that kid the right way. So that's kind of what we would do. Obviously, if you're worried about being overwhelmed, no, don't be overwhelmed. Come on out, we'll get you caught up. It's not a big deal.
Well, you mentioned the weight room. We just spent, a lot of money in the Memphis weight room, and we're real proud of it. The short times we've had to get in and work with the teams, boy, they sure seem excited, don't they?
They like lifting weights. They like training.
I've noticed I get a chance to walk in almost daily into our gym class, and I see our gym teacher down there, and he's got them in the weight room, boys and girls alike, and they just seem really motivated by it, excited by it. We have some interesting things that we're planning to implement to help assist the kids. So even if they're doing a workout away from school, they can kind of, track their progress and how they're working, stuff like that. So if they're not able to get in every day. But I guess that's a question I have is, how important do you think the weights are, not just for sports in general, but particularly for football?
I think so. Strength training is a must for pretty much every athlete. Now, it doesn't have to be the weight room, but strength training is important. What's nice about the weight room is you can isolate certain muscle groups that maybe your body is compensated. So I like to use the hamstrings example. Every kid does a lunge. Most kids bend at the waist, let their quads and don't make their hamstrings and glute engage as much as it should. So the weight room allows you to do some things that really engage that. And it's vital for football because football is violent. And I don't mean violent like, people are going to throw swings at you, but there's a lot of collisions there. There's bumping, there's bruising. So that extra muscle mass really does help just the durability factor. And you'll see that in wrestling, you'll see that in baseball, you'll see that, I saw it when I coached shot put and discus throwers, kids that were consistently in the weight room were just more durable. One of my good friends is the cross-country coach at Armada. He said he noticed a difference in kids when they started lifting consistently in cross-country season, that they were more durable. They didn't wear out throughout the cross-country season like they had in the past. So all sports are vital. Football, I think it definitely is vital just for the durability aspect of it, the injury prevention of it. Getting stronger and bigger and faster, those are all great bonuses, but really it's about injury prevention. You know, kids that get in the weight room have good strength training get hurt less. If they get hurt less, they perform better. Pretty much a universal way to be better at sports. If your best athletes aren't getting hurt and can perform better, you're going to perform better as a team. And now and then you look at even the kids that maybe aren't your best athletes, but they're still being contributors, and they're contributing, and maybe they're coming off the bench, maybe they're in the middle. If they're better than the other team's better, now we're that much better than everybody else. And again, keeping them fresher, keeping them durable is a way to make sure we can compete long term. You know, I was on teams in high school that were not very durable, and we would play great for one game and play horrible the next three. And then all of a sudden we got in the weight room next year, we were way more durable. We were in those games the following year. So I think biggest thing is durability and injury prevention. That also being said, the strength and the muscle mass is a huge bonus for football. I mean, everybody knows what football is. If you have guys that can run real fast and
Faster,
also
bigger, stronger.
And if they're bigger, that's a bonus. You know, a guy that can run a 4.740 that's 120 pounds versus a guy that can run a 4.740 that's 220 pounds, there's a huge advantage to the guy that's 220. But little guys have some physics advantage too. They've got leverage advantage, and they can go after legs a little easier than the big guys. So little guys have some advantages too.
Well, Coach, you spelled out a lot of enthusiasm, and you've done some great things, not just with football. The track, I know you've gone down here. I saw you in the weight room a while ago working with the cheerleaders. Mm-hmm. You've had boys basketball and girls basketball in there, so it's been a tremendous asset to have you part of all our programs. But I know that Memphis is going to be a lot better off with you at the helm and leading us to the jacket land, I like to say. But more importantly, giving our kids something to be proud of, and giving them something to look back at one day and be proud of as well, and excited. So, yeah, thank you for coming in. Thanks for that you're here. Thanks for all you do.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Well, this has been another great segment for the Memphis Hive and the Memphis Team Report. We've had fantastic guests here today. Our head football coach, Mr. Todd Stump, our head junior high cheerleading coach, Miss Leah Welch, and her 4 8th graders that are going to move on to great things and have already accomplished a lot of great things. We thank everyone for being here. We look forward to seeing you soon. And again, this is Drake Oakey from the Memphis Team Report saying, Go Jackets.